Hello there. I just want to make a quick video. I won't keep it for long, or I don't know, whatever. Just one of these face-to-face videos. Basically, I just wanted to give a shout out to the Truther chat and all the people out there. Friends of mine online that have been better friends to me than some of the people in my real life. Stressful nonsense dealing with fighting with my family and the spirit of alcoholism. Not to mention all this other nonsense, baggage from my past. I don't know, I'm at an impasse. And so also prayers go out, again, like I says, to the people who have to deal with the same kind of crap I'm dealing with. People out there who are struggling or suffering, especially with this nonsense pandemic, people losing their jobs, businesses, financially speaking. There's a lot of people hurting right now. A friend in the Truth of Chat, she's got to go through the rigmarole of getting all her ID back. So yeah, prayers go out to everybody who having to deal with stuff. It's just for me, I feel like I'm just at my wit's end, dealing with like emotional blackmail. A family member who, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I used to be, a right piece of shit. I had to literally, thank God the Holy Spirit inspired me to obviously become a Christian and try to make amends. I still struggle with anger and lust, a vicious cycle of certain things that sins I can't break a habit of. It's like addiction, manifesting, the spirit of addiction. And it seems like when I became a Christian, all of those demons went into one of my siblings. All the bad habits I used to have, emotional blackmail, manipulating people, using people, blah, 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 just being a right prick to people, like my dad was. This sibling started manifesting all these traits, and it was, the first thought that went through my mind was, did all my spirits go into her after, like Dr. William Schneblin talked about breaking generational curses and praying to break generational curses? If you're from families like me with 33rd level Sith Lords, they do things and rituals that literally infect your DNA, much less the idea of my DNA being altered in the MK Ultra program, which would explain a few things like my hyperactive ectomorphic metabolism. But it seemed like these traits that I had, I was basically, like I said, a prick to people, just jumped into my sibling. Like, I got kicked out basically for not buying them booze last night. It's like, I'm poor as dirt, you want me to buy you booze? And it led to this whole retarded argument. And it's like, I admit I drink because sometimes I feel like I'm never going to sleep again. Again, part of this ectomorphic metabolism, hyperactivity. I have energy. I'm almost 50 years old, and I look like I'm in my 30s. Minus you can see a few gray hairs in my beard. But if I shave and clean up, it's like... And so where's all that energy coming from? And it's just... It's almost more than I can bear, because, again, that comes into the whole Donald Marshall topic and MK Ultra. And all my siblings don't want to deal with it. Like, they are nowhere near close to even thinking or contemplating breaking generational curses, praying, repenting, like not Christian. Like my mom, okay, yeah, but everyone else in my family thinks it's all a big joke. And so I look down on this situation, and it's like, am I the only one who's gonna make it out of this alive? And like I says, the emotional blackmail, maybe in some ways I deserve it, because that's how I used to treat people. My dad, same thing, like I said, one of the cruelest pricks you've ever met. He used to emotionally blackmail his mom and say, I won't bring the grandkids by if you don't give me money for drugs. Nice guy, eh? Much less like torturing people with extension cords and household items, locking people in closets, abusing people to like things you only see in movies. And then much less like I saw like even like people stressing about this whole Q thing, like the massive Trump supporters that thought Trump was going to win. I even thought Trump was going to win. I was mega wrong about that. I'm surprised. I don't know what they got cooking, but it has something to do with this Q. And I'm glad to see some people like Aldo, shout out to the voice crying from the wilderness or whatever, that cabbie I know from the MK Ultra program in New York. It does suck that Donald Marshall came between us. Whatever. I pray for that guy too, to dummy up and stop leading people down the alien agenda path. But this whole Q thing, I pray people wake up to it, because isn't it like illegal for freestanding armies to be assembled in America? It wasn't like the first thing Biden did was assemble like 20,000 man armies in all the major cities. He put like a wall around the Capitol building. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. And also, I think Trump is the first one-term president I've seen since Carter? Wait. Yeah, Nixon had 2. The Bush crime family, both of them had 2. Clinton had 2, right? Obama had 2. Still waiting for him to take head chair of the UN. But, yeah, I mean, like, prayers go out, because I know people are going through stressful nonsense right now. I saw today, just people will use things like memes to try to break the tension, and all these Bernie Sanders memes that are going around I thought were pretty funny. But yeah, I mean, you gotta do what you can. Even now, just making this video and talking about it, it helps me. It's therapy for me. I mean, I'm isolated and alone. I feel a lot of times I liken myself to like Obi-Wan Kenobi, stuck out in the wilderness, keeping his eye on his niece and nephew, basically. My one doctor always said I had kind of a Luke Skywalker complex because of my dad. An overemphasis, like a superhero complex. I always wanted to save the world, you know, like I draw and I'm a comic book geek. And looking back on it now, I see that God put that skill, hobby, whatever in my path, because it did keep me, I think, for a long time. It kept me from becoming a villain. Almost did, but in the back of my mind, I'd always think of something like, you know, what would a hero do, right? And so now seeing like Luciferians versus Satanists, you know, Trump versus Biden, people think that their vote really will change. It's like make Babylon great again. And so lots of people are stressing about that. And like even Alda was saying, when it comes down to like this pandemic, you know, what was going on in the truther community right before that? They're talking about Epstein Island, adrenochrome, and Pizzagate. And then suddenly the Rona takes precedent over everything. And then now the election. Or even like with the Dominion voting machine thing. All this stuff that's stressing people out, and it causes people to fight. And, you know, that's probably the main plan, getting us to just argue endlessly over nonsense while they're laughing their asses off in their seats of power. And so, I don't know, like just prayers go out for semblance, sound mind. I mean, like I says, right now, my main problems that I'm trying to lick is my bad temper and lust, you know, like it's pretty lonely being alone your whole life. I mean, it sucks, actually. I thought for a while there that it was safer, or it, you know, protect me from the world, protect the world from me, you know, but I'm actually losing my mind to the point of like thinking of moving just to be closer to at least a few truthers in real life, because it's just too much. That's the only thing that gets to me, is the loneliness is almost more than I can bear. And like if the grid were to go down and I wouldn't be able to communicate anymore, okay, I guess I'd probably lose my mind a little bit. I'd go back to living in libraries like I used to as a kid before the internet, you know. I was constantly in the libraries all the time as a kid, reading. That was just my thing. I was always kind of a broken toy. I had a few friends growing up, good friends that stuck with me through a lot of shit. People that I still know today. A couple of them bailed on me over the flat earth thing. One or two of them are still good friends, but at the same time, it's their blue pills. They're not truthers, so I can't have any real conversations with them about anything. It's, you know, or people like the sibling I'm arguing with refuses to look at the evidence about what having a 33rd grandpa means, and the idea of breaking generational curses. She doesn't even believe such things are real. So for all you guys, out there suffering like I am, I mean, just pray, give it to God. Before I was a Christian, I used to just chew on this stuff and stress over it, but there comes a point where I can literally just sort of literally give it to God, because if I don't, I'll explode. Like gut rot. Like even right now, like it's getting a bit better, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Prayers go out. I pray for Goshen, semblance, a new community, a Christian community where, even like Alda was saying, getting away from the computer more. Like, I'll make a video or post a couple posts each day, but for the most part, I'm not on social media. I can't stand it. It just depresses me. My truther chat, there's an active anywhere from a half dozen to a dozen people. I want to switch that over to my Discord server sooner or later. But, I do chat with other truthers online occasionally, but for the most part, I don't scroll through my feed. I can't deal with it, unless I'm like trying to kill 5 minutes in a lineup or, whatever. But as far as communications go, though, I'm very thankful. I praise God for such an ability to be able to speak to however many people, My BitChute page gets decent views. My new YouTube has, already been censored. It's just whatever. ScrewTube. But at the same time, despair is what I want to combat. That's, again, why I'm making this, because I was starting to feel it creep in a little bit. I just noticed Lori asked me how my sibling was doing in the Truther chat. Not well. And I don't know what to do anymore. I'm at my wit's end. Spirit of alcoholism. And this place where I'm at in BC, Canada, there's a liquor store every 5 blocks on the main, like, it's just a small little town, but per capita, there's more liquor stores than like any other store in town. And the corporations, the businesses that were allowed to stay open while the small businesses were tanked, like even my comic book store guy, he said this last year was his worst year ever, and he barely broke even. And all these other small businesses in town got tanked. A hat shop, a video game shop, a couple restaurants. If I walked around downtown, I'd probably see more. But yet, the government liquor stores are just booming. Because the depression, the isolation, Me, the only time I really drink, like I says these days, is because I get such rank insomnia. Or even my doctor, I think, called it hypersomnia. It's so bad that it's like my record's like 92 hours. And my camera says I'm running out of room here, so I might have to make this in parts. Hold on here. Yeah, this memory card is little, so I can't record big, massive videos all at once anymore. I gotta break it up into little ones. Anyway, yeah, like I was saying, I drink because of my rank insomnia. It sucks not being able to sleep. Like, my record is something like 92 hours. You know what your head starts to feel like after, like, that's 5 days almost? You start buzzing like a fridge. Like, you feel like you're inside a light bulb. It's gross. And so, I mean, like, I'm tempted that way to, but other than that, I mean, I don't endorse alcohol. I think it's retarded. I'd rather be sober-minded. I mean, I smoke cannabis to help with the anger and the PTSD. But again, like, if you smoke regularly, you don't get high anymore. Like, I don't, at least I don't. I get euphorically, I mean, it takes away the anger and the edge. And most people who have extreme PTSD, and doctors included, will attest to its benefits that way. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's the least useful thing that plant could do. It's God's most perfect plant. It can make anything. But the idea of people self-medicating alcohol is definitely not the answer. I mean, because it's just so rank. And what it does to your body, even. Ugh. Like processed sugar, same thing. But, I don't know, my topics got all over the place there. I also wanted to bring up this idea of the MK Ultra thing, and people asking me, or people who watch my videos asking me, why I'm not making much about the Donald Marshall topic anymore. And it's just simply because there's nothing left to say. I mean, I don't even know what to make of it. I know something similar to what he says is happening, but it's like he's getting credit for the topic itself. Like, people saying so and so confirms Donald Marshall's testimony, but yet they never actually mentioned Donald. They spend the video just talking about cloning or something. It's like people in his camp are they act like this subject didn't exist before he came on the scene in 2012. It's pretty retarded. I mean, I heard about organic robotoids and stuff like that years ago, and Dr. Peter Better, or the idea of cloning itself. I've been obsessed about that since I was a kid. Transhumanism and cyberware and the idea of being chipped, that's, like, I probably am as well. Like, I mean, unless my dad somehow got me out of the program, I can't see how he would have had the authority to do that. And so, obviously, something's happening. Do I believe that they can just take your soul out of your body and put it in another clone? No, that's retarded. Again, retarded. Your soul, like, I've astral projected, and I might have been in the CIA remote viewing program, okay? So even when that happens, you're projecting your consciousness. Your soul stays in your body. I don't think the soul leaves until you die. I mean, people have reported out-of-body experiences, near-death experiences, and stuff like that. More proof of the soul. But projecting your consciousness is different. I believe your consciousness is a byproduct of a soul being in a body. Two different things. So when you remote pilot a clone because you're chipped, like James Caswell talks about, that's really the way to look at it. It's like remote piloting a vehicle, or like with a VR headset. Like, you are still you. You know, a clone or a copy is just a copy. Much less stuff like organic robotoids, which are essentially organic clones, robots. Like, I mean, you can grow an organic robot from human DNA. That's creepy. Much less the idea of AI and all that, but pushing the alien agenda nonsense. Obviously, that's where my beef with Donald Marshall's always been. And the reason I don't talk about it is, like I says, I don't know anymore. I used to make videos about my dream logs, and I never once said that I knew for sure. But I said that if I had any kind of theory about it, this is how it would play out, A, B, and C. And so now I don't even know. And obviously his whole camp, their attitude is that I just want to be Donald or something. And it's like, am I the only one that wants to destroy the Ring of Power while the rest of these guys want to use it? Like, no, you can't use the cloning transhuman technology. There's nothing good in that. All you're going to do is create Nephilim and end up leading to the mark of the beast, image of the beast system. If that's what people want with Q and transhumanism, then I pray for them, because that's retarded. And so, I mean, that whole topic, I stopped talking about it because there's only so much to say. I mean, I can prove who my grandpa was. He was high-level military. He was OSS. He was Operation Paperclip. Like, all these creepy James Bond-level villains that came out of World War II that built MI6, CSIS, the CIA, the NSA, Israeli Mossad, Pakistani intelligence. What else? You got the Five Eyes now, the modern UN, the surveillance system. All of that came out of guys like my grandpa in the OSS and Operation Paperclip. And like, he would have known that von Braun guy, the first boss of NASA, who said often and publicly, the last card we play is the fake alien invasion and the first card is faking space. Huh? Even to people like Dr. Carol Rosen. Not to mention proofs for the Bible. Like, you got all these psychopath 33rd level Freemasons that are world leaders in military intelligence. All military intelligence. And if they're not Masons, they're Demolay or some other society that can be trusted. Rosicrucians, but only at the highest degrees. And these pricks drink blood or wine from a human skull and swear to make war on the God of the Bible. Why? Why would they do that if it's not all real? And still people scoff. Oh. And then even like the out-of-body experiences and proof of the soul. Things like the CIA remote viewing program. Like, that's what the whole Montauk Chronicles and that Stranger Things show is a ripoff of. And then that way, when you think about it, you just think of it as a fiction on TV. Not real, but it's real. And so, as far as Donald goes, like, I honestly think he's just a Trojan horse. He might not even be the original dude. Maybe he's just a lonely guy who read a bunch of stuff and now he's just rolling with it. But people need to stop acting like this topic didn't exist before he was on the block. That's dumb. Like, he's not even as old as me. But anyway, it also causes rivalry and infighting and nonsense, and the headache it led to between me and Aldo. I just don't need the headache. It's an interesting topic, but until there's some kind of disclosure about it, nothing more will change. I mean, Donald's claim is that the reason the celebrities don't come forward or whatever or sue him because he's claiming to have written all this music is because that they know it's true and blah blah blah, and some of them have mentioned him and whatnot. But wouldn't they be under orders to do that? Hasn't anyone ever studied the Hegelian dialectic of problem reaction solution? I mean, it's pretty obvious. I mean, I even had someone tell me they thought Donald Marshall was Q, and it's like, why is everyone giving this guy so much power? He's just a dude like me in his basement. Well, not even like me. He doesn't have the balls to do videos like this. I don't know, maybe he's even more shell-shocked than I am. But the infighting is nonsense. Nothing could be accomplished by continuing to go on like that. So I just wash my hands of it. I pray for the guy, but I mean, that whole camp, they're just going to continue bad-mouthing me until somebody clips me or something. That's, if they had their way, I would have been clipped a long time ago. But by the grace of God, here I go. I'm obviously, not a stupid person. I can take care of myself. I can handle myself. I'm not like a heavy guy. I'm not claiming to be some tough guy. I've lost as many fights as I've won, but I have had people try to clip me in real life before, and I'm still here. So I mean, I'm just looking for Goshen, a breakaway community of like-minded Christians. As far as the making video thing, again, like I says, it's therapeutic, and I just like the process. It's I don't know, it fills a void too with not many relationships in my life, being isolated, because I feel like at least I have connection with the world or truthers out there. But yeah, I mean, there's some topics that I'm just not gonna go full bore on like I used to. They just don't compute for me anymore. But yeah, so I guess even at the end of the day, I got bigger fish to fry than to worry about that topic all the time. Even the flat earth is starting to annoy me, because you give me control of the Air Force or anyone with any kind of ability, it can be solved and proven, and yet people would still scoff. The Bible, people definitely love scoffing that. The cloning center topic itself, I think, is designed to make MK Ultra survivors like me look ridiculous. Because, I mean, come on, you got a guy saying he wrote all these songs, and he's the greatest inventor that ever lived, and blah, 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 and people just think that's absurd. It is absurd, but the thing is they could all be just programmed to believe it's true. Like I've said to Aldo on the phone, I call it the classroom. The idea that each deep underground military base could have dozens of kids that they use for whatever reason, and manufacturing consent when it comes to Tavistock things, like writing music for people or writing music that manipulates people. It's just too, convoluted of a topic to commit to, because people start living vicariously through it and refusing to admit that they could be wrong about it. And they start thinking they could be a special boy, a special kid from the cloning center, and be super special, fancy pants and lollipops, kind of thing. And it's an ego stroke in that regard. It becomes this it's like a way for people who maybe don't have fulfilled lives to feel special. And it's an illusion. It's an archon illusion. And so whatever. Usually when I make a video, it's because I feel the Holy Spirit call me specific topic. Lately, I've been making greatest hits videos. I had 2,000 videos on my YouTube page when they deleted me. But like it says, I got bigger fish to fry. Also financially in real life, the dollar's collapsing. People need to, get ready for whatever's coming. Like I says, even my comic book store guy was saying that it's just bonkers for small businesses, and the censorship. Even he was saying how the things he's noticed that came out of this was primarily the censorship, and that people who supported Trump were losing their bank accounts and stuff. And like, not that I'm a big Trump fan, I'm Canadian even, so I mean, whatever, eh? But people getting attacked, like on a financial level over this, like that's mega illegal. I mean, the whole idea of the media even complaining and saying that guys like me should be completely cut off of Facebook. Well, okay. I have been deleted from Facebook, from Twitter, not allowed to log into my Patreon, my first YouTube. So, I mean, the censorship, that's all I've been noticing lately, is the rank purges of anyone talking about the pandemic or the election. And so, yeah, again, the topic of the cloning centers is just not at the top of my list anymore. I mean, the idea of Pizzagate and the adrenochrome scandal, that obviously is an important subject that needs to be exposed. You got not only that, but what do they call it? The underground tunnels in Washington, D.C. that they supposedly use to traffic kids. Like, I mean, it's in every city. Hundreds of thousands, a million missing kids every year go missing. And so that's, more important than the cloning center topic per se. But then, there's other topics, like I mentioned, like things like flat earth that are obviously provable, but yet people still don't want to go there. And then this idea of a fake alien invasion. It is what it is, I guess. I'm losing my train of thought here. I'm all over the place. I guess with all of this, everything on our plates, the truther movement, again, I just say prayers go out, and to everyone in my truther chat especially, because we got to stick together and stop fighting each other. It's a shortcut to thinking. It's counterproductive, and like even that, like again, shout out to Aldo. It sucks that all this happened, but I got bigger problems in my actual life. If I'm going to lose sleep over something, it's going to be something else. However, it's like at some point I wonder, I don't know. I just pray for everyone to stay calm and not let the despair in. Give it to God. Don't be like me and isolate yourself necessarily. It hasn't turned out too well for me, but sometimes I think maybe it's for my own safety. I don't know. However, now all I feel is just the weight of it. It's like all my other friends and everybody, they all have families. Everybody but me. Growing up, I mean. But whatever. I mean, it is what it is. So I'm going to go and edit these all together and maybe throw in a few slideshows as I talk and just try to relax. Whatever. I don't know. The next couple of videos I make will probably be more memes to mumbles, greatest hits videos that I pull up off my hard drive. I got a few of my older videos, but I don't have them all backed up on hard drives. But lately I don't know. My heart hasn't been in it much. And then again, like I said, dealing with family stress is just whatever. It is what it is. So, yeah. Peace out, baby.